got Germ with the Germ Stros. I got my guy Ty through. I got the Guru through. Man, hopefully we'll get Cat 5 coming in later on. But hey, today we're gonna talk about these power rankings, man, because things have changed. There's gonna be some people of surprise. There are gonna be some people that may get mentioned. But hey, man, I'm gonna pass this thing to Guru, man. What's going on, man? Talk to the people.
What's good, fellas? Almost at the All-Star break. That's why we're doing the power rankings. Let's see where your team ranks. Let's see if your team even ranks, if they're good enough to rank. And let's get it started. I'm ready to go.
And Jern, talk to her, man. We see you.
I mean, look, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Ty will be my neighbor.
And speaking of Ty, man, Ty has been on the move today. Talk to him, man. What's good?
Disclaimer, I am ready for all of the FCC fines I will get for as many cursing tables and chairs I'll be throwing in this show. I'm liable to say anything and do anything. I'm ready to pull up on somebody. He knows who he is. It's on site. But it's all love. It's all love. The dish we serve, hot plates, good food for the soul. I'm ready to get these power rankings at, but I'm upset. I'm gonna change my name to I'm upset.
I am a real American.
No,
I am a real American.
Put the Jimi Hendrix on, man. Put the Jimi Hendrix on. Hey, man. So today we're gonna do this thing, man. But we're gonna do it a little bit different. Most of the time, we have time doing these power rankings and stuff like that, and we usually come to a common ground or a solution. But with this 10 that we're doing today, 6 through 10, we agreed with. But the 5 through 1, we may be throwing chairs at each other. So let's get the band-aids and the bandages and alcohol and peroxide ready because we gonna get hit. So I'm gonna start this with Guru, man. Last time we done this, the Mets were mentioned a lot while you was gone, but they was honorable mention, not just mentioned. They was just honorable mention. So on your list, who did you have as a honorable mention, and who was at your 10th spot right now?
Hey, I got to take a shot at my board now that category. Honorable mention Reds. That's where they're going to be right now. They don't deserve to be in the top 10 yet. So, like I said, the Reds are my team to make that push come second half of the season because of their pitching. The pitching is getting better. The bat's been there all year, but they got to pick it up. And if they want to get in the top 10, they got to pick it up a little bit. I think they will, but we'll see. As far as top 10, it's about damn time we made this list, the Mets, And I mean, to be honest, Ty says it all the time. We are in the worst division in baseball, but they are division leaders, so they deserve to be up here. They haven't been healthy all year. They're finally getting healthy. And, talking about the AL East, let's talk about Acuna for a second, man. Him going down with that injury, it sucks, man. One of the best players in baseball. I hate seeing that. And you saw the tears, right away. I feel bad for him. And I hope he comes back better than ever next year. And, in a way, I hate it, but it opens up the door for the Mets. That's a great player that the lineup is going to be missing. And if they don't do it this year, something's wrong. So, yeah, number 10 is the Mets.
And number 13, man, he's a special player. Coming into the All-Star week, coming into it, and he has such a good season coming. He was what? It was about he got like what 24, 25 home runs. Had a what about 13, 14 stolen bases. He was 2020 coming into the All-Star break, man. Acuna, man, get healthy, man. My Braves need you big time. We'll see you next year. So, Ty, talk to us. What do you think about their top 10? The 10th spot? What do you think about it? Then we'll pass this thing on to Germ.
So it's rare that I'll agree with Guru over my guy Cat Five. The Reds are still playing good baseball. Like, let's not give them, the praise they don't deserve. I think their last 10 games, they're 8-2. They have a tough Brewers right now. Like, they're fighting hard for the division. So while I would like to give the 10th spot to the Reds because they're in a tougher division, you have to respect your division leaders. Right now, the Reds are, I think, 5 games behind. So I can agree. And like I said, with my rankings, it was interchangeable at that 10 spot. I will agree with the honorable mention going to the Reds and that 10 spot going to the Mets. I'll respect the division leaders this time.
This time. All right.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide in here. At number 9, we got the Athletics of Oakland. I think this was a consensus pick for everybody. They're a team that they're going to always be in a top 10 power ranking at some stretch throughout a season. They have all of the components that you're going to look for, that you're going to say, you know what? This team has a chance, but then it comes to the postseason and then then it gets like that. So that's just what happens. So with that being said, I'm going to shoot it back to Guru. We'll go around the horn about number 9, and then I'll introduce number 8.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The A's are a team that they're gonna be in the top 10 some point in the year. You always see, it's weird. You always see the A's generally take a 4 to 5 game lead in the division, and then they come back to earth. They're like, they play strong in the first 3 or 4 weeks, a month, let's say, of the season, and they come back down to earth. They're 3.5 games out of first place right now behind Houston. They're 4-6 in their last 10. The reason why we keep saying the last 10 is because we take the last 10 into consideration a lot. 10 game stretch is generally a good stretch to rank a team based off of power rankings. And they're actually plus 29 in run differential, which isn't bad. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey with them. Their record at home is 27-22, so they're only 5 games up playing at home. But they're better away. They're 24-18. They're 1 game better away. So they're about even. They gotta pick one or the other. They're either gonna be a good road team or a good home team. You can't be about 500 in both and expect to make a World Series. That's just not gonna happen. What do you guys say, Ty?
So you pointed out a good thing there. I just want to add to it by adding that whenever the A's face a top tier team, there's question marks galore. Like, even their record at 500 and above teams, they're below 500 at 26-29 on the season. So you can't expect to go deep into the postseason, which is their problem, if you can't beat the better teams that the league has to. So that's why, they stick around. They'll give you a run for your money. They'll race with you. They'll contend. But it's like at the end, they run out of gas. And unfortunately, that's the name of the game. You got to, get through the season, which they can do. But then the postseason is right there. So if they can, strengthen up their rotation, maybe find another timely hit batter or another good, impact bat, that's what they really, really need. Then, they can maybe make some noise in the postseason. But until then, the A's are who they are, and we'll give them the respect right at number 9.
Number 8, we got the Brewers.
Before you go to 8,
Go ahead.
The Oakland A's, man, they just remind me so much of the New Orleans Saints. Just to put it in football terms, they gonna win regular season games no matter what. A road record is better than a away record. They're going to get somewhere, but at the end of the day, they're gonna find a way to lose in the playoffs.
They need the Bash Brothers back. That's what they need.
Nah, the Bash Brothers and Balco. That's what they need there, right?
Just to kind of put it in perspective for you guys too, as far as their pitching. So this year's team pitching, team ERA, they're number 11 at 3.83. They're behind who? The Yankees. We know the Yankees do not have good pitching. and that's who they're behind, that's a problem. They got to fix that.
So yeah, Jerm. Go ahead with the 8. You said the Brewers.
Yes, the Brewers
Okay.
are the number 8 team. Look, man, I'm just gonna say it like this. Nobody expected this. We can't predict the future, man. Come on, man. Go ahead, Jorge.
Yeah, man, they're a surprise team for sure. Nobody picked them. Nobody thought they were going to be here. And that Central, I mean, we thought it was going to be, Chi-Town, the Cubs, and St. Louis. Let's be honest, and the Reds too, mixing the Reds as well. Nobody thought they were going to be here, but they are. They are a really good pitching team. They're actually number 6 in the league in team ERA at 3.45, which is really, really good. And how about that pickup that they made in the shortstop that's making a big contribution since he came over. I'm going blank with his name right now, but he's been huge for them. And he's basically been a shot in the arm for that offense, which they desperately needed. But they go as their pitching goes. We talk about pitching a lot, and they're truly a team. They go as their pitching goes. So then they have a former MVP, Yelich. If Yelich picks it up, who knows? He hasn't. We haven't heard a lot about him this year, but if he picks it up, they can make some noise.
The funniest thing happened to him the other day. So he hit the ball. The ball went wild. So you get a chance to run past first base and then get back. So they basically was like, the play is still on. He could have took off the second, but he just took the stride off of first. He was going to go back to first. Dude then politely got the ball out the outfield, came and tagged him before he retrieved back to first base. They called him out.
Yeah.
And he got ejected.
Yeah,
he got ejected from the game because he was going off on the umps. But in all actuality, he was safe. They should have gave him the first base. That was a wild pitch. So that was crazy when I seen that. Ty, what about the Brews, man? Brew Crew.
I mean, Jorge put it best as far as where they're at, but I will say this: give me some credit. Let me get my flowers for saying I wouldn't be surprised if they, picked it up. I said that on this show, and look what happened. So if anybody is, Mr. Cleo or Swami or what have you, or just one of the psychic friends, that would be me, the type through. So shout out to me. But anyway, yeah, I mean, Jorge's right. I mean, but let's not factor they have, Craig Counsell, who, is, really, decent guy to have for your club and your organization. So despite that your star or one of your best players is not playing like he used to, not having an MVP caliber season, they still have, a great culture over there. And, like Jorge said, they're pitching. So if they can maintain where they're at as far as their pitching and just maybe pick it up offensively, they may, run away with this division. So let's see. And I will say this: Craig Counsell got ejected with Yelich the other day too, right? So I mean, he backed up his star. So there you go. Culture right there. Culture over everything.
And it's the shortstop name they got is from Tampa Bay, Willie Adames. That's who came over. He's been huge for them.
Okay. Number
7.
7 or 6?
7.
7.
Number 7, we got the Rays, baby. The sweet baby Rays, baby. All right, but look, hey, man, we're going to call it like it is. This is a team. They are a professional baseball team in every sense of the word. I think everybody on this panel will agree. The Rays are the Yankees' kryptonite. They are the one team that can show up in any series and beat any team in the AL in any extreme situation. That's how I'm going to start it. What I'm going to say in this situation is, though, we got to work on that rotation, and they could use another arm out of the pen. Jorge, I'm going to swing it to you.
Yeah, man. We said it in future shows. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea how. I mean, their scouts must be amazing because they're able to just plug and play and not miss a beat. They don't have those huge contracts that the Yankees have. They don't have those huge contracts that Houston has, and they're always in the mix for talking about World Series contender, which is crazy. Last year they almost took it, but it's wild how they're a team that can do that. I mean, to be honest, if you were talking football terms, let's look at the Patriots. That you can plug and play, small contracts, not a person that can go play on any other team, but they know their role on this team and they contribute. It is what it is, and that's what they do. And it's amazing. It's amazing that they're able to do that and be in a division that they're in with the Yankees and have a much smaller payroll than the Yankees and say, hey, we run your team. You guys can't beat us. And that's what they do.
The Rays, you lost two of your best pitchers. And you still doing your thing. Bravo to you all. Just to even be in this spot, they still got a shot at it, man. They still got a shot. Ty, what you think about the Rays, man?
So, I mean, if I told at the All-Star break, you only have one All-Star representing your team. That's their catcher, Mike Zunino. He's the only one headed to the All-Star game. If I told you you got rid of two key pieces of your rotation in Charlie Morton, who the Braves have, by the way, and Blake Snell, who's also in the same conference, and that you would only be 2 games out of the AL East, I would not take that bet. I would think you crazy. What are you talking Ty through? But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the Rays. Kevin Cash is that manager who knows his team. He trusts his scouts, and he lets them play. And the Rays, is that organization that if you're a player who wants a shot, to compete and compete well, you'll have your chance. So I salute them, as far as their organization, as far as doing what they're doing, despite everything that's coming against them. I mean, you look at what they were doing before they lost Tyler and what they're still doing without him. I mean, they're literally behind the Red Sox 2 games right now. And with a higher run differential than the Red Sox and actually beating teams at or above 500 better than the Red Sox. So can they catch them? We'll see the second half of the season because it is halftime. But take a victory lap, Rays. We see you. That's why we call them the Rays. They're just there.
And just to let you guys know, they lost 2 of their best pitchers, and right now they rank 7 in team ERA at 3.56. 7th, and they lost 2 of their best pitchers. And Glass now, their ace is injured, and they're still holding on to 7 there. That's crazy. You got something to add, Storms? What's up, Storms?
What's going on? Oh, I'll tell you guys what, I am old as hell. You know what just happened to me?
What just happened?
I apologize for showing up late. I went out to pull some weeds in the yard before the rain came, and came back in and sat down to chill for a minute and fell asleep.
That'll do it. That will do it. Yard work will make you fall asleep quickly.
Yeah, but the Rays, man, my biggest takeaway for the Rays, like you guys were saying, they lost Snell, they lost Morton, and still have been one of the best pitching teams in the majors. Now Glasnow has gone down. But the big thing that stands out to me with the Rays is they are just extremely solid everywhere. They're not elite anywhere, but they're well above solid in every respect. And so the only thing that they are elite at is winning ball games. And I think that's incredible. They've got 7 everyday guys who are hitting higher than the league average in batting average. 7.
Mm.
That's how you win a World Series without a superstar.
There you go.
Yep. And number 6.
Go ahead, Trav. Go ahead.
Number 6. Jern will slap this guy down every time
Oh God, here we
get
go.
on.
Here we go.
But this dude, this guy is selling popcorn right along with the other guy that's in California. He's not selling as many, but he's still doing the same thing for this team. And it's the Padres. Jern, take your shots.
No, there's no shots to take here. The Padres are the Padres, and they are. This is the weirdest thing, though, for me. The Padres are the third team in a division in which we have 3 teams that have won 50 games.
Mhm.
That
Wild, Wild
is
West.
incredible. They are the 3 best teams out on the West Coast. The Dodgers and of course, we got the Giants, who was an unsuspected team. We'll talk about them later.
Mm-hmm.
But this Padres organization should be proud of themselves to be this high on the list, to be where they are. They're at 6 right now, and I can argue that they should be kicking the door down to get up to the top 5 right now. I can make that case. Jorge, I'm gonna swing it to you. We swing it to Ty, then we'll go to Storms.
Yeah, we say
Come back
this.
to Trav at the top.
Sorry, we say this all the time. Padres go as that shortstop goes. It is what it is. That's how far they're gonna go. He's gonna take them as far as he goes, and they're just a talented club. Offensively, we know what they can do. Now, remember, they added pitching this year. That's why they're where they're at. Tatis, he went down. Their pitching held them a little bit, but their offense is coming around. Their offensive numbers right now, as far as batting average, they're listed as 13 with a 2.43 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't too bad. They can pick that up for sure. And as far as pitching goes, they are number 3 in ERA. So like I said, their pitching is what's holding them down. They're at 3.38. They're only 0.25 behind the leader, which I won't tell what it is, but 0.25 is not that bad, for as far as number 3 goes. So look for them to have a big second half. If Tatis stays healthy, hopefully he does, and they're gonna obviously be in the running for the division. 3 teams for the division, like Jerm said. Let's see who winds up taking it.
Ty?
So it's funny, at the beginning of the season, we all were like, okay, Padres, Dodgers, it's up for grabs. 1-2, NL West is a wrap. That's not what's happening with this division at all. And no one saw that coming. No one saw this coming. And that's why it's the Wild Wild West. Let's just, call it what it is. As far as the Padres go, I mean, you have an MVP candidate. He could literally run away. If you gave the MVP away today and Tatis won, no one would be like, it's a problem. Everybody would be like, okay, it's okay. The man is doing it all. I mean, come on, Jerm. I mean, he defensively, he's stealing bases. He's hitting home runs. He's batting in RBIs. I mean, all the things that you questioned Tatis in the beginning of the season, he's answered despite his injury, and despite the injuries. So
we didn't question him at the
can you
beginning of the
say?
season. We didn't question him at the beginning of the season. We just said that he's a young player.
Yep.
What did we
All right.
question?
Okay, I'll stall you. I'll stall you out, Jerm.
I just said he was a young
But
player.
anyway.
Is he the best? Is he the best defensive shortstop in baseball?
Here we go.
Is he top 5?
Arguably,
I will not answer that.
maybe.
I will not answer that. You could argue it, but
You can
I'll say 4 to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah.
Okay, Storms. Thank you, 5. I appreciate you. Since Ty gonna try to tap dance on the subject at hand here, since you want to come at me sideways and crooked, how about you, Trav? What do you think? Is he top 5?
Yes.
Oh,
She gonna ask me that. She gonna ask me that. She gonna ask me that. Yes, he is. So
He gave you that smooth. He said, yes.
hey.
Look,
Hey.
simmer down, Pimpin.
You asked
down,
Trav.
right?
He's number -5.
Trav,
No.
listen, Trav, he not that dude like that yet, man.
it's just a
He coming
guy.
up strong though. He coming
It's a
up strong.
guy I vouch for that you just underslap him
No,
every
I
chance you get.
Here we go.
You just
Here we
do
go.
that.
Oh
But
God.
Storm, what you got for the Padres, man? What you got for the
All right.
Padres?
Hold on,
So
I got one thing to add though
Okay, my bad.
Go ahead.
before we had the storms.
Yes.
Are we disappointed in Blake Snell? Do we think like he could do better, or is he just where he at and just need to figure it out for the second half? Like, get back to me on that, guys. Let's go around the table with that one because honestly, I thought this season Blake Snell was going to wreck shop, and he really hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Storms. Touch on it.
Well, honestly, it's been a whole lot of change. You know, we've talked about it several times. You're going not only from a weird ass shortened 60-game season back to the full slate. He's changing cities. I mean, his entire life just changed. I'm not saying it's to be expected, but I'm going to give him a pass for the first half of the season in a new city after all that weirdness. Well, I'm with you. Let's see how, he fares the rest of the year before we judge him.
Can I go?
Mm-hmm.
Hell no, don't give him a pass. I told y'all this. I told y'all this. He was on the Rays. He didn't go past 6 innings probably like once in his career. That's what the Rays do.
4 times.
Okay, there you go. 4 times. Dude, if the Padres don't put up runs early for him, he's not going to get a W. He had 16 starts. He's 3-3 with a 4.99 ERA. Come on, bro. You're not even asked to be the ace. You're asked to be the 3rd best pitcher in this rotation. And you're not even doing that.
Ouch.
So with that being said,
Girl got it off his chest.
with that being said, Storms, I'm gonna let you finish it, and then we're gonna get into this top 5 because we got to get the furniture moving.
Good, because I'm glad I'm going last on the Padres because I'm gonna play a little. I thought I was gonna play a little devil's advocate. I guess I'm more gonna expand on what Jorge touched on a little bit. I'm also gonna go against something he said. You were talking about how they're top 3 in pitching, but then you talk about Snell not going 6 innings. The Padres as a staff ranked 23rd in quality starts. So with that, and given that they rely so heavily on one guy for their offense to establish their offensive momentum at all, that's a major reason why I kept him out of the top 5 personally. You can't expect to have extended success when you rely on the bullpen to do most of the work. So they got to figure it out in the rotation. I mean, it hasn't been them too hard yet, but you ask your bullpen to go 5 innings or more 4 times a week, that's trouble. And it's not going to get you to the World Series, let alone win it.
So now we get to move some furniture up in here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you need to wipe your forehead because Germ is coming with the heat, baby. So we have a couple of different lists. Now, with the list that you guys compile, first and foremost, me and Trav both agree with the 10 teams that are on the list. We both agree with the 10 teams that are on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what I will say is this. At number 5, we have a consensus of 5 teams, right? And this consensus of 5 teams are in no order: the Stros, Dodgers, White Sox, Red Sox, and Giants. Okay. Now, the Giants and the Red Sox this year started off red hot. When we say red hot, we talking what wasn't it like a 10-game lead or something like that for the Red Sox at one point in the AL?
I think they got as high. No, I think they got as high as like 6 games. Six
It was a 6-game lead, and they were beating people. And then for the Giants, they have overachieved in a lot of areas, but that pitching staff has been solid. They're getting saves. They're just finding ways to win in the mud, which is a sign of a good baseball team for October.
Yep.
We got the White Sox. They are young and emerging. They are coming up fast. We got the Dodgers, who are the consensus best team on paper in baseball. And then we just got them hitting son of a guns, the Astros, who just find themselves in situations to be where they are. Number 5, I'm going to ask this question. Why are the Giants not number 5 as a consensus? And I'm going to start with Storms.
And the easy answer is they have the best record in baseball.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
That'll do it.
But I mean, first of all, if you would have asked me in April where the Giants were going to be in the power rankings at this stage, I would have probably said somewhere between 14 and 20. But this may be the best free agent pitching haul we've seen in 10 years or more. At least as far as they've performed this far. DeSclafani, Kevin Gausman, and what's the other guy? Alex Wood. And then even before the Sanchez, before his injury too, was playing really well. That's a huge reason why they are where they are and nowhere near the number 5 spot right now.
Jorge?
Man, listen, they have been amazing to watch, to hear about. How about Buster Posey? Where the hell did he come back from? Like,
I'm back the clock.
I mean, let's be honest.
Crawford too.
Crawford's been underrated for years, and we say that because he plays in the West and nobody hears about him. But Posey, his leg injuries had to be pretty bad for him to be off like 4 years and then come back at the age he is now and have the season he's having. He's an all-star caliber, a catcher playing at all-star caliber year. It's amazing what he's doing, and like we say all the time, you can't have enough veteran leadership on a team, and that goes for any sport, and that's exactly what he is, and they didn't have to trade and go get it. They have it on their team. That's great.
Ty?
So Storms already took the runaway answer, but I'll throw in that's to add on what he said. Let's not act like the Giants are not number 2 as a team in ERA and pitching, and let's not act like they're not number 1 home runs and that long ball. When I gave my live on the Giants and if they're for real, this is stuff that I pointed out. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't see it coming at the beginning of the season at all. But you have to give credit where credit is due. They're not a consensus 5. There could be a consensus top 3, depending on how you want to argue this. So when it came to that 5 spot, I wasn't going to put them there. Yes, their bullpen can improve a little bit, but for half of a season, they've been putting in work and putting in work better than a talented, very talented White Sox club to me. So easily right there. When across the board, you can't really pick out anything they're not proving themselves on. You get what you get.
So they're 3 games. So they would have a 3-game lead, 3-game lead technically, if you wanted to say it like on the White Sox, right? And the White Sox started slow. So are we rewarding them for the beginning of the season here, or are we saying that they've been the most consistent team?
Who, the Giants?
The Giants. Have they been more consistent than the other teams here on this list?
I think they've been one of the most consistent teams in the MLB, period. And the record shows.
Them and the Rays.
Not only that, their record at home and away. Listen to this. At home, they're 29-13. They're not getting beat at home. And they're 27-19 away. And against 500 teams, they're 20-15.
Something the White Sox aren't doing too well at, just to point that out.
Yep.
And going off the consensus of these 3 lists that I have in my face, and it's a surprise because 2 weeks ago, we did a power ranking, and the team that majority was number 1 is majority number 5 in this spot is surprisingly the Chicago White Sox. 2 out of 3 got the White Sox at number 5.
I don't think the White Sox should be number 5, honestly. I think they should be a spot up. And I think that the Red Sox are a team that, I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to really see more about the Red Sox as the season goes on. But I think that at this stage now, we're done with the hype train with the Red Sox. They're at the peak of where they're going to be.
I've been done.
I got
we
you.
know, Storms, we know.
So I honestly believe that the 5 spot, to be honest, should belong to the Red Sox right now. And as I said, that's my vote for right now, because I think we're going to just come to a consensus for the top 5 here on the show. Go ahead.
I rebuttal that a little bit just because the Red Sox are actually pretty good against over 500 teams. They're 29-21, which is better than what the Giants are at right now. Mm-hmm. They played more games with about over 500 teams, and they're really good at both home and away. 28-18 home and 27-17 away. That's what the Red Sox are. And they have a 2-game lead against the Rays, which we praise. That's, so, but the difference is, and the biggest difference is, the Giants, play in the division, in the NL West, where, they play the best teams, meaning the best division. As far as the White Sox go, since we're talking about them, they have a huge lead in the division. They're 7.5 up on the Indians, and 7.5. You don't win a division with 7.5 games, but you definitely lose it being 7.5 behind. You know what I mean? That's a big gap. So for me, number 5 would be what I did on my list. I go Dodgers. I'm not rewarding them for what they did in the beginning, or what they did last year.
Oh wow!
I'm just seeing for what it is now. They're becoming healthy now and doing what they're doing now, but they're still back in the division.
I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
So we're doing first half power rankings, right? So are you? And this is a legit question. Are you putting the Dodgers at 5 based on what we've seen from them, or based on who they are overall? Because this is still a team that hasn't had Corey Seager, hasn't had hasn't had Bellinger for most of the season. Dustin May. Who's the other?
David Price.
Price has been in a bullpen role. Who's the name of the other starter that's been out? Oh, Gonsolin. Him and May have 11 starts between each other. And I mean, I don't think I would be that far off in saying that the 5 of us would probably agree that if they have everybody healthy, they're going to be number 1 or number 2. And that depends on the Astros. Oh, sorry, spoiler. But but so my question is, are you judging them based solely off of performance, or are you considering who isn't there and is going to be there? Because if we're doing overall, I can't put the Dodgers at 5.
Right.
That's the hardest part about this.
Yeah, and this is what the viewers are seeing now, what we go through every week, and how we put in these teams in the spots that we put them in, and how we come to an agreement. This is how we do it, and this is how we go back and forth, and we figure out what's the best spot to put them in. So to answer your question, I'm going based off what's happened this year. Yeah, they put themselves in the position to still contend for the division with that many players out, but we know that they're going to be a top 3 team when they're healthy. We know that, but they haven't been. Yes, they've played well enough to keep themselves in contention, which for being a deep team and being a good team, that's what you do, and that's what you're supposed to do. But I can't put them higher than 5 right now because I can't say they played better than the other 4 teams on that list.
I don't know. The White Sox for me are just too inconsistent. They keep going on 4 and 5 game winning and losing streaks. You don't know who you're getting from week to week. I mean, they've won more than they've lost, but you can't be a team that has a habit of losing 4 or 5 games in a row, taking that into October.
Because you'll get swept out of a series.
True.
So at the 5 spot, Germ, we just gonna name a team because we got to go on this 4 spot.
Right.
So
So are we going to
Germ-
agree that we're going to go for the White
That's-
Sox?
That's why I wanted to ask, who do you think? So you said the Red Sox, correct?
I'm thinking Red Sox go 5.
And Storms,
Go ahead.
I got the White
let's vote.
Sox.
White
Okay.
Sox. Ty, you going?
White Sox,
And Guru, you going?
Dodgers. Disrespect.
So I'm not in this right now. So if we going
My
on,
name-
we just gonna go majority at this point. At the majority, it's saying White Sox.
Okay,
So
that's fair.
White Sox will be at our 5.
So just to
We
give you
would-
a number
we
before
would-
we go to
yeah.
4,
Mm-hmm.
White Sox are horrible against teams over 500. They're 16-24
That was my deciding factor.
and 24.
But you want to put them in the top 4?
I mean, they're better than what the Dodgers were.
Yeah, but that says they can't beat the Dodgers.
They don't have to play them unless they get to the World Series.
Chairs.
And
How
now
many
let's
of
not
us
act
have
like
them?
the AL Central is one of the strongest divisions in the MLB. Let's not pretend like the AL Central is as strong as the West, man. Come on.
That's a good point. The Dodgers, I mean, you look at, in general, teams over 500, but how many games are the Dodgers playing against the Padres and the Giants?
I mean, how many games have they played against each other? They're still under 500. They're 18-20. But again, like you were saying, they haven't had a lot of their stars, so we give them a pass this
Whoa.
time.
Dodgers are 20,
I'll get
21,
number
20
7
and
next time,
21.
Ty.
God, he
20.
popped that number out quick.
Yeah, right? I knew he was gonna.
Number 4.
Number
I'm
4.
gonna start.
I'm
Go
actually,
ahead.
Trev, here, watch this real quick because I think we can make this easy.
Yeah.
I think we have just made a case to actually understand that we know the Giants, Dodgers, and Stros should not be number 4. Is that a consensus among the panel?
For me,
Among
it is.
everybody but Jorge.
Go ahead and lost
Well,
his goddamn
so that means
mind.
it's going to be the Red Sox by default here.
Yes.
Yep.
Because it has to be just based on the fact that we all can agree that the Sox in both of these 2 teams, Chicago and Boston, respectively, they have question marks that we don't have with the top 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now we could just kind of skip to number 3.
So
Now
White.
here's-
So before we go, White.
Oh, I don't get
White
to talk
Sox.
shit about their defense?
No, Storms.
No.
So White Sox and Red Sox is flip flop 4 and 5, 5 and 4. However we want to put it.
Actually, real quick, I was actually going to say some good things about the Red Sox defense today.
I don't think. I doubt that.
No, I was. Now, don't get me wrong. It's been trash all year long. But since what was it, June 25th, they're 11-4. Okay, that includes a sweep of the Yankees and a 10-1 stretch. But in the process of that stretch, they've made 6 errors in 15 games. Now, that sounds like I'm hating, but that's actually a major improvement for what they've been doing. I'm just saying they're making progress. They're moving the right direction. That's it.
No,
I can't give them too much
surely.
props because the defense has still been terrible all year, but it's been a lot better in the last couple weeks.
So you're saying baby steps.
Yeah,
Sounds like he's tiptoeing.
Yeah.
He's like me.
That's what-
He's tiptoeing, tap dancing.
I'm not gonna lie. That recent stretch is the reason I have them over the White Sox because they've shown had a better defensive showing.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Oh.
Here's where it gets interesting. Can I be honest and tell y'all that I think number 3 should be the Dodgers?
This should have been this a long time ago.
This does
I'm
not
with you.
listen. Number 3, meaning listen, being a top 3 team in the power rankings, especially for us, is a compliment. that means that you're better than 7 to 12 other teams that we put on a list. And that means that you have the ability to end up in the World Series based on what we've seen so far. Can we all agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to actually start with Ty, and I'm going to let him make his case for the Dodgers at 3, or if you feel like they should be higher, and then we'll pass it around quickly. Let's get a 90-second shot clock going. Rapido.
You really expect him to say 3?
Rapid fire.
I mean, did you see his list?
Yeah.
I mean, did you see his list?
There's a reason. There's a reason for that. There's a reason. I always have a reason for everything. There's logic. You may not agree with my logic, but it's sound. Okay. All right. You just don't. You just.
Most of the
He's
time.
only just begun. Okay. So, well, I can understand putting. You can switch. 3 and 2. The Dodgers and Giants are only 2 games apart from each other. So obviously that's saying something of the caliber of teams that you're dealing with here. They both kind of have the same issues, except for the Giants have just strung along better games. Now, what I will say is that the Dodgers have a better run differential than the Giants, albeit that the Giants have done better against 500 and above teams. That was the deciding factor as far as how they're winning these games. Let's not forget, the Giants don't have the best bullpen. Okay, Sergio Romo is not the best guy to come out for you. Okay, he's decent at best. Okay, now I'm not saying the Dodgers don't have their bullpen issues too, but they've seemingly, at least with how their offense is and their starting rotation, have won games at a more definitive level instead of squeaking by games here and there. That was my point. Or depending on a timely bat or a home runs, like I put it up.
I'm going to go to you next. What are your thoughts? Then I'm going to go to the bias guy, Jorge.
I got him at 3. Honestly, I have him at 3 for the same reason as the question I posed to Jorge earlier. I think that's where they deserve to be based on what we've seen, even though I think they should be higher if they play a full season healthy, or if they get everybody healthy for an extended period. Been saying it all year long. There's really not that much to say about the Dodgers. They're doing what they always do despite the injuries, and they're just going to be stronger when they get everybody back.
Jorge?
It's one of the teams that just isn't going to drop out of the power rankings, and we know that. They're always going to be top 5 because they're one of the best teams in baseball. Right now they're at 12th for batting average at 243, and actually they lead the league in team ERA at 3.13. Like we were saying, they're missing key people. Their pitching has held them afloat. They're still in the run for the division, but next time I'm making sure I put them 9, so that way they're not in the top 3.
Real quick before we get to Ty, I have a question for the panel.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you've got like I said, May and Gonzalez now. Kershaw just went on the 10-day IL with was it shoulder inflammation?
Yeah, I
Something
believe.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. So you have 3 healthy starters right now. David Price may come back into a full-time starting role until they get some guys healthy again. But what about that 5th spot? Are you? I know the top prospect, Josiah Gray, is at the end of a rehab right now. Do you bring him up and give him a few starts? It's not like you have to worry about missing out on the playoffs. You can afford for him to go out and have a couple of bad outings to get experience.
Can I go first real quick to make it real quick?
Yeah.
That's fool's gold right there. 2 reasons why, and I'm going to be real quick. Number 1, if he goes out and he bombs, you're not losing anything because you still have one of the better lineups in baseball. So you can still go out and win that game 6-5, 9-10, 8-9, whatever the case may be. The second part is if he goes out and he plays well, that could be a piece that you can use later if you feel like you want to get another big piece. Because if he goes out and he performs, we talk about the prospects. earlier this week. That's a prospect at an elite position that you now have that you can mortgage to push the chips to the table and get a guy like Mike Trout. Spoiler.
So yeah, and to add to that, he made two good points. So the first one is if he goes out on bomb, we said that the Dodgers, or I said that the Dodgers pitching has been holding them afloat. This is the game to where you tell your lineup, hey, we need runs, get the lineup going, and they get the lineup hot. And then secondly, if he does bomb, all right, he's a prospect. You know what I mean? Or I mean, if he does do good, he's a prospect. You can use him in the playoffs as that long relief, like we talked about. That's key in the playoffs. He's not. We all know he's not going to start in the playoffs. So we use him in long relief. Use him as a reliever. That can only help your team and make them better. Or put him in a trade for somebody that you may need. You know, if the Dodgers don't need a lot, but you know, why not make your team better and wherever it may be.
Ty?
So yes, we know it was not against the greatest team, but y'all just gonna sit up here and not put up 8 home runs and 22 runs. So I am not worried, you know, coming out and bombing because he has great run support from elite lineup, and you know he doesn't have too much pressure riding against him, except for the fact that we do know the team is, you know, dealing with some injury concerns. Now Kershaw's had an MRI, it wasn't negative, so as far as the results, so hopefully, you know, he's able to come back faster. But I'm not worried about it. Like I said, you have a lineup that's clicking, and you have elite talent in that lineup. So let's see what.
Okay, so I'm glad I got your thoughts on that stuff. But it's kind of, I guess, a 2-part question. So is you know what you think about Gray and all that, but the other question is, and that this part's more directed at Ty because he's our resident Dodgers expert. But what do you expect them to do? You know, are we gonna maybe see that, or maybe just see some bullpen games until they get another starter healthy? Or
Well, to be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't see it coming, just because I know that the Dodgers as an organization trust their farm system. So, but there's a lot of names, you know, that, you know, are kind of hurting, and you don't know a timetable. You have 10 days could turn into 15, or it could turn into less. As far as that bullpen goes, like, you know, do you want to rely on David Price as much as far as stepping up into the rotation? Who's going to come back and, you know, take up his spot? So it's tough, but I do believe they'll let the young prospects shine. I mean, look at the kind of year Julio Reyes is having. You know, it's taken him a little bit of time, but now he's playing like he's what we knew he could be all along, and doing it well. So when he's given the opportunity, he shined. So that's just a testament to the farm system that the Dodgers have.
All right, now here's how we're going to close out the top 10. We're going to close this out with a vote. Who should be number 2? I'm going to ask this question to the panel. Who is the number 2 team on our power rankings? Everybody give a name. Jorge, I'm going to let you start.
So I just changed my mind, actually. So number 2 should be the Giants.
Storms?
Giants.
Ty?
I didn't get what I wanted. Y'all ain't let me have what I wanted, but that would be the Giants. Disclaimer, I did not get what I wanted. I fought for it.
I also have the Giants for number 2. So that means, and that leaves the Astros at number 1. Now, no, I'm not gonna be that guy today. You know what? We win graciously.
Says the man who changed his name to Germstros.
And listen. After I see Ty's power rankings, I had to do this. This is a troll move. He's a heel in my Jay Ham voice. He's, you know what?
Hold up. Let's just all turn our videos off and let Germ go ham for a few minutes.
Let him. Please do. Please
So
do.
look, all I want to say is this. We are consummate professionals at what we do. We hit the ball and we find ways to win ball games. That's just what we do. We got the coldest midget in the game wearing our chain. His name is Altuve. It just is what it is. He is the coldest guy in the galaxy under 5'10" when it comes down to it in that baseball diamond. At the end of the day, man, this is just a great organization in general. This is no disrespect to the Giants at all. This is a beautiful thing. But I think the Astros are getting hot, just like I said they would, around in this time of the season. And now Ty, come on, Ty, you have to eat the crow. Come on, Ty. Nobody else has to say anything for the rest of the show now. We're going to let Ty talk about it. Because Ty was running his mouth like a jabroni, talking all that stuff about my guys. And now my guys is kicking ass and taking names. So, Mr. Tythu, can you please turn your camera on so we can see your face and we can have lovely conversations with your brothers and your friends?
You said jabroni.
First of all, who was man enough to put in their power rankings the Astros are number one? Who was the only one to put that down? Who did it?
It was you. It was
Excuse you.
That's why you got the floor. No, you put Ohtani first.
What?
Exactly.
Well, that's my pick.
Okay, first of all, that don't count. And second of all, I stand by that.
That's why I said I'm with you on that.
Hey, I am not mad at you for that though. But that's the dope part of it. Like Ohtani should be in the power rankings somewhere. I think we should put him above the Mets.
No, just give him the honorable mention. No, wait, no, I like your idea better.
I
agree.
I think we should put him above the Dodgers.
Oh man, Jorge, we already know about your hate for the champions. Okay, so respect your champions. But I mean,
he's above all the Dodgers. He's the best player in LA.
Ouch. So with that being said,
ouch.
Ouch.
I can't help it. You said heel activity. All these other people joined in. It's a thing.
Yeah. So Ty, I'm gonna let you do that, and then we're gonna do rapid fire to wrap up the top 10, and we'll give the list at the end.
All right. So I mean, when you look at the Astros and what they've done this season, how could you argue when you take in the fact that they have played 63 games against 500 and above teams and won 41 of them? That's ridiculous. When you look at their run differential, which is the best in the league, that they're winning games this definitively, it's ridiculous. While they do not have the best record in the majors, while they do not have the best team or ERA, while they do not have the most home runs or whatever, as a team, they are the best. When you look at it, unbiased, despite trash cans and all, you have to give credit where credit is due for the first half of this season. And that is why I did what I did and why I can stand by it. Did I hate it? Yes. Am I still going to fight Germ on site when I see him? Hell yes. But his Stros, while he does not have any claim of ownership or any affiliation with the Astros organization, he ain't even from Houston. Have you been to Texas? When's the last time you've been to Texas?
Just know that we all bigger in Texas. That's all you need to know. The championship trophies is bigger in Texas too.
Whatever. Rematch. Give me 2017 back, and that's when I'll celebrate and do my dance moves, backflips and all.
Oh, okay. Don't hurt yourself now. You've been that chicken nugget diet been kicking your butt. So with that being said, rapid fire style, final thoughts with the top 10: Stros, Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox, White Sox, followed by the Padres, Rays, Brewers, A's, Mets, with the honorable mention of the Cincinnati Reds. Fellas, top 10, how do you guys feel? Storms, Jorge, Ty, Trav, and I'll close it out.
I like our top 10. One thing that I really like about this show is we come with different lists every time, and I can't remember one time that we haven't all been satisfied with the way it worked out after we talked it out. So my final thought for the top 10, I'm going to go back to the Astros. The bullpen has been the one area of concern for them all year. But since losing 5 of 6 to the Orioles and Tigers, which is embarrassing by itself, the bullpen has actually come back and gone or produced a 1.72 ERA with 34 strikeouts and 7 walks in 29 innings. And they converted all 5 of their save opportunities. So if they can keep that going, Luis Garcia's sort of emergence has helped offset some of the injuries they've had to their rotation. So if he can keep going and they can get some starters back healthy and the bullpen continues this, they'll stay where they're at, number 1.
Jorge?
Yeah, man. Look, no disrespect to what the Giants have done the first half of the year. They've been amazing, like we said. But we said this before we even started the power rankings this year. Houston's stays on the power rankings, probably top 5 and up, and it just so happens that they're number 1. They're the best team in baseball for a reason. They've been the best team in baseball for a while, and it is what it is. I mean, no disrespect to the Dodgers either. I'm just saying as far as how long they've been here. They're a good team. They've been a good team. Just to give you numbers as well, they're number 8 as far as ERA goes for the team. Team ERA 3.57, and they're number 1 as far as batting average goes, 2.69. So being top 8 in both categories, that'll get you number 1.
And Mr. Tie-Through, I will let you say your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is how dare Guru says what he says after he tried to hate. I've seen your original power rankings, man. I questioned them from the beginning, raised eyebrow and all. If I'm going to be a jabroni somehow, but anyway, no, I mean, I respect
Rudy
Guru's,
Tootie.
I respect Guru's opinion as well because he does know what he's talking about and he makes you think. That's what I love about these power rankings. I love arguing with these guys because there could be something that needs to be brought to my attention that I'm missing. So with that, I think, we all did a good job of being fair and reasonable and looking at all facets of the game and very interesting first half that nobody could predict. With that, let the second half be just as good as the first half. More moments, more memories. And I love this sport and love this game. And let's just compete, play ball.
Trav, any further thoughts there, brother?
Man, I'm just happy to be on the dish today. Also, I guess, well, I'm not going to guess. I know when on the scene on any of our groups, this, Views 122, 94 Feet of Life. Once we make a list, I'm good with the list that we do make, and we stand by them because our eyes and the tape don't lie to us at this point. So the list, I'm agree with it. So Charm, close us out.
From the critically acclaimed Houston Astros, the number 1 on the power rankings for the week. Just want y'all to know from the dish scene, that is Twitter and that is Instagram. Make sure you guys like and follow. Join the dish group on Facebook. Of course, we got, my guy Ty. We got my guys Category 5, my guy Guru, guy Trav, Mr. True Man False World reporting live from the dish. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
Make your own damn list.
Now, make your own list. Now,
Free Trout, free Otani.
Now, with that being said, what I'm getting ready to do is we're getting ready to make a transition. But we're getting ready to do a doubleheader style. We got 94 Feet of Life coming up live. So without further ado, come off mute, turn your cameras on as I turn it to the best point guard in the gosh darn world, Mr. Big Shot Ron himself. Take it away.
What's going on? Shout out to the dish. Thank y'all fellas for, I guess y'all be leading off for us today. Appreciate it. It's now the Game 3 preview. 94 Feet of Life. We talked about it. We got Ham. We got Trav. We got MJ in the building. Germ, thank you for hosting, fellas. Let's get it going. First, let's start off with the question, man. Can the Bucks get back in the series 2-1? Rapid fire around the horn. It's Sunday. We going casual. Let's go. Trav, let's start it with you. Back in the game.
They back at home, man. They back at home cooking, home everything. We have seen this before. They played Brooklyn. Down 0-2, went home, took care of business. That's how they're supposed to. We're going to see, can the Phoenix Suns, can they game translate well on the road? Of course, they didn't done it in the playoffs, but this is the finals. This is a whole different breed of playoff ball at this point. So we're gonna see. I think Milwaukee is gonna do well at home because they're more comfortable at home.
Ham. You put the post up on your page. I definitely had to share it to 94 Feet of Life. I hate that we gotta have these conversations, but it's a thing. Scott Foster on the ref duty tonight, and for those who know, he and Chris Paul have a real thing. It's not exaggeration. It's not conspiracy. It's real. Ham, the Scott Foster factor, if there's any, and what do you see Phoenix coming out doing here at Game 3?
I mean, this is the mental test for Phoenix in that regard. One, you're going on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You're going on the road. You're going into this new environment that's relatively hostile, whatever the case may be. But then you have this added element of contentious animosity between your engine and the dude that's the chief official of the game itself.
Yeah.
Neither here or there. I felt like coming in, it was gonna pretty much be Milwaukee's to pretty much handle business. I mean, you back in Milwaukee, you got the factory that the brewery or whatever that Laverne and Sheridan worked at. You got Cunningham Hardware. Shout out to Howard Cunningham. I had to throw it back Happy Day style, you know what I'm saying, on the Milwaukee tip.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ralph Malph, because Ralph Malph used to be on the bench with no uniform on, with straight warm up. Another story, another time. Give me Milwaukee tonight though, just on the real quick, just because it's Game 3 there at the crib. I don't think we're gonna get too much further, but as we talked about the other night in Game 2, it's probably in Phoenix's best interest to get this thing done as fast as they can. So the longer this goes, the attrition will show.
MJ, right over to you, swinging it over. X and O's, you've been in the lab tough.
Yeah.
On this series. So from a lab point of view, Game 3, we always talk about quote unquote adjustments and whatnot. What do you see may change in Game 3?
This lab interview is sponsored by Werther's Original, the best church candy ever. Since we throwing back stuff, since J-Ham want to throw back stuff, there you go. We got Werther's Original candy for everybody. Now that the ice is broken. Very simple. Giannis has finally figured out how to play on 2 feet. We did a breakdown way earlier in the season in which we saw him do this move in which he hop step, reverse first pivot, and fall away into an all-net jump shot. And I told him, I'm like, I remember telling y'all on the show, I'm like, if he masters that, it's over. Well, sure enough, last game he had like 48. I mean, yeah, 40 something. I stopped counting after around 30. I just stopped counting. So now you have a guy that you absolutely need to either figure out you're going to double team him or he's going to give you 50 if he plays that same way. Also, you got role players who are now comfortable. They have their own regimen. They are able to get shots up in the comfort of, their gymnasium. They have their routine prior to their tip-off. They only got to travel 20 minutes away. They know this. They're comfortable. So now the shots they were missing in Phoenix, those shots aren't going to miss.
Yeah.
So, add that with the whole referee situation. I won't be surprised if it is 2-1. The flip side on Phoenix, what Phoenix has showed us is they can give it to you any way you want it.
Yeah.
First game they played, I thought it was a throwback to the 2000s playoffs. A lot of mid-range, a lot of grit, a lot of grind, a lot of paint work, a lot of contested shots being made, tough shots being made, good defense. And then, Milwaukee adjusted. I know y'all say they don't like to make a lot of adjustments, but they did adjust. They took away the mid-range from the two best players. And they just simply countered by just shooting threes. So it's like, what do you do when they're hitting on every portion of the court? Which is the reason why we have always said the mid-range is always important, because that's 75% of the floor that needs to be accounted for once you show you can consistently hit. So
Now,
the real question is, will it travel?
I think Milwaukee has shown to be a really resilient group over this entire playoffs. Every time it thinks you think they're truly out of it, they've managed to find them to fight back. Germ, obviously, one of the stories in the series right now is Ham talked about is health. Health is always a story, and Phoenix is kind of short on size anyway. No Saric, likely no Craig tonight.
Says he's gonna give it a go on Twitter.
He's gonna give it a go, but he probably is gonna be limited.
He's still with them.
Yeah, he's limited.
He got a ring regardless.
So for Phoenix, how do you compensate for the size factor if you have no Craig or a certainly very limited Craig?
So here's the most interesting part of this. We touched on this briefly when we talked about this amongst ourselves and even on the regular show. The size of Milwaukee is actually what's been their calling card during this entire playoff. Brook has just been bigger than everybody else when it comes down to it. Giannis is still Giannis on the glass. Those things to go along with Chris Middleton being a legit 6'8", 6'9". That's a situation. That's how I say 6'10" just to irritate Trav. Even though I should have. But with that being said, their front court does a good job of getting rebounds, and then you also have Drew, who's a solid rebounding guard in his own right. So rebounding has been a big part of this. The thing is, this is the first time I can honestly say that this Milwaukee team, in a lot of different ways, is facing a legit 7-footer who likes all of that smoke down low in the paint. DeAndre Ayton, if he's not getting the rebound, he's tipping it out to his guards. And what they're doing from there is they're either going and moving, getting down the court and not allowing them to set up, or they're tipping it and they're getting it to another guy, and then the ball is immediately getting to Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and then they're coming up the floor. That's the beautiful thing about DeAndre Ayton. He is the unsung hero of the first two games. We started off with almost a 20-20 clear vision game, and then we come back after that and we still give us a nice double-double. I think it was a 10 and 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
It is what it is. He's the catalyst for rebounding for this basketball team. Yeah. Milwaukee is going to beat you on the boards, period. It's do you allow them to dominate you on the boards that matters the most.
I think what we've seen from Phoenix is that we know about Chris Paul. We know about Devin Booker. Like those two, are going to be there. But what Phoenix has managed to do, fellas, is that they've always been able to find, every time they've won a game, they've always found a third guy.
Yep.
It's Mikal Bridges one night. It might be Jay Crowder another night. Campaign, if you go back to the Clippers series, Campaign had a couple of huge games. Cameron Johnson is solid. So now, again, for this young team, outside of Chris Paul, now nobody really has any final experiences, so it's kind of even. But now you're going on the road in the finals. Do they find a third guy again? Do you get another big game out of Mikal Bridges on the road? Does Campaign sort of find his shot? They've managed to find another guy every time they won a game. So,
the irony of that.
Go ahead.
The irony of when we say lack of experience, so to speak, listen to those role players that Phoenix have. Jay Crowder, graduated college, senior. Cam Johnson, graduated college, senior. Cameron Payne, I think when he come out, junior year.
Yeah.
3 years in college.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years in college. Mikal Bridges, I think he was a red shirt, but a sophomore. So that's 3 years college. And also with probably one of the best developmental programs in college basketball that he was with. And Jay Wright in Villanova.
And
These
won a
are
championship
grown
there.
men. Even though they're young, they're grown men.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I think you talk about you have more. They're more mature players. I just know this first time in the finals on the road, it's a different ballgame. It's a different ballgame for all of them. I think it's going to be Phoenix now, kind of holding their nerve. Because Milwaukee, we see Milwaukee at home. They're going to hit you with at least 2 really big runs. Milwaukee at home, when they get going, and Phoenix is going to have to kind of steady their nerves, withstand the run. And I think they can at least, I got Phoenix split tonight and Wednesday. I don't know which one it's going to be. I think Phoenix can get one of these 2.
I think you play Kaminsky if you're Phoenix.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to.
Kid.
Yeah, he's going to have to play.
I'm gonna say this.
Kid.
He got to play. He got to play tonight.
I'm gonna say this too. And I'm gonna pass it right to you, Ham. I'm gonna say this. The problem that I have in this game is I don't see if Milwaukee makes the shots that they're missing. We're talking about Milwaukee scoring an average of at least 20 more points, right? Maybe 20 more points.
Give or take.
We're talking about a situation where that 20 more points equates to them winning by 8 points, right?
Right.
At home. But the one thing I've noticed about this Phoenix team that is consistent is their game 3 performances throughout this playoff stretch have been spectacular. When they seen that they had, it took a great performance from Paul George and some really, really good shooting from the Clippers to pull out a very tough game 3. So it took a out of character performance a little bit from the entire Clipper roster. It took a great. Didn't they beat the Lakers in game 3?
No, that's the one they lost.
They
I
lost
ain't
game
working
3.
on no first round.
Well, no.
series.
I'm saying, but in that game, that was one of Devin Booker's worst playoff games he's had thus far.
They managed to have really good performances. Phoenix has won 2 games on somebody else's floor every season.
And
They put
that's
somebody in the mud too.
And that's the point of this. We're talking about making this a rock fight. If it's tonight that they make it a rock fight, this is the perfect game to make it to that rock fight. This is the perfect game to make it muddy, because Milwaukee has not shown you that they've run them off the 3-point line, which is a part of this too, to a certain extent. And they've done a excellent job of knocking down their open threes. You're not looking for Mikal Bridges to come out tonight and score 27 points. You're looking for him to come in and give you 12, 14 points. Crowder give you maybe 10, and you're looking for Ayton to come back and give you a 20-15 game. They should be right there. I'm not going to pick yet, but I'm going to tell you this game 3 is pivotal because Milwaukee, you need to come out with the energy. But this Phoenix team got one dude that's cooking, and his name is Devin Booker.
All right, let's get Ham in. Everybody get Ham. Jump on in.
I mean, you talked about those others, and we just mentioned Frank, which I mentioned Frank after game 1. Like really before game 1, like when do we see Frank? How often will we see Frank?
Yeah.
Now we got Frank going back to, well, it's not his home state, but that's the state where he got down on the collegiate end. If you get that from Frank or anybody else, and you get one of those that split that you was talking about, Big Shot, we might be done with this thing by Saturday night.
Yeah.
Phoenix is clearly the better team. Let's put that out there. And then one thing that we're missing out, Jerm, you had the right number when it came to third, but I'm not going to say third game. I'm actually going to talk about third quarters for Phoenix. Third quarters, that's a testament to their adjustments and the coaching and the culture that they have, because they always come out and punch you in the mouth in the third quarter. Once they go in that halftime locker room, Coach Williams and the staff always have the right adjustment to make to be able to just go on a run. They usually have their outbursts in the third quarters, and then they rely on their defense and Chris Paul and Devin Booker's isolation ability to be able to just hold them still for the fourth quarter. That's usually what's been the trend. So that third quarter is going to be pivotal when it comes to Milwaukee, because we literally seen Giannis have 20 in the third quarter and it still didn't matter.
And let's go right to there, Trav. I'm gonna get you back in here. And let's Giannis. Now, I'm gonna say this on camera because it was said in public. And I'm gonna get Trav. I want you to jump in. Listen, for all of y'all who believe that the Milwaukee Bucks are a better basketball team with Giannis on the bench, shame on you. Shame on you. And I love all the participation in 94, basketball, Twitter in general. But let's not be silly. Let's not be silly.
Big shot. It's a difference between saying hot take stuff and saying ignorant shit. Sorry, it's Sunday, but it has to be said.
Let me say this. That's one of the 5 dumbest takes I've seen in the last 5 years in any form. 94, Twitter, your Facebook page, my Facebook page, anywhere. Now,
I still don't think that's my top 5. I mean, I've been in some fucked up barbershops.
That one's up.
Hey, I've had a dude say that I put Joakim Noah at the shooting guard position and go big against Miami.
It's elite. It's elite dumb shit.
What made this one so bad is that it was like in the moment. And it was like corroborated and agreed upon by a lot of folks. And I'm like, what the fuck is
you
this?
were only in the game because of him.
You want to sit him down?
He in the middle of a 42 and 15, and you want to sit him?
To teach a lesson.
To teach a lesson in game for the NBA finals. Okay.
Perfect time. So that's the perfect.
I'm not gonna say name because we don't have that type of energy. But don't say that again. Ever.
Please don't.
Ever say that again.
Please.
Trav, let's go back to you. We're gonna keep the ball moving. Ham, it's not funny, man. Folks, wow.
You saw I changed my background for that.
Yeah, do y'all remember? I know everybody. If you're a competitor, basketball, football, or whatever, remember when the young dude was playing basketball and the coach pulled him aside and he said, "I hit the ball," and the referees changed the call or whatever. That's the elite dumb crap that in sports that you don't do or you don't say. That Giannis deal where he need to sit it lines, it's right there. It's elite ignorance. That's what it is. Elite ignorance. Like this dude is giving you 40. Dude, you take okay. That's 30 and that's a walk-in 30 and 13. You want him to sit down?
Yeah. Of the aggressiveness of Drew Holiday, even though he went 3 for 20.
It's Sunday, man. I'm trying not to, but I just can't.
And that's MJ, and I'm glad you brought his name.
Oh God.
I'm glad you brought his name up too. That was another one.
About
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday. Yeah. Hey man, I'm just gonna say it. Bitch,
Drew Holiday is having a shooting slump. Shooting slumps, cold streaks happen.
He's at home now.
But again, you're not in the game without Drew's defensive work. You're not in the game.
He played his ass off on the defensive end.
Yes.
So yes, can he shoot better? Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Drew's never been a catch and shoot player to begin with.
No. I got this one, Drew.
It should be asinine things for me.
We've had this conversation with Joe Harris when he was broke, and he played the whole games of the season, all of the season, played the whole season. Didn't sit down, didn't complain, didn't do anything, and now we're mad that he's broke. You want to know what you need to shoot in order to for your shots not to go short? You know what you need? Your legs. You know what you need to play defense? Your legs. So if I'm asking this dude to guard 4 positions and play otherworldly defense in which he's chasing Chris Paul over the screen, picking him up full court, he probably not gonna hit the 3. It's just what it is. Now,
better players than Drew Holiday have had shooting slumps in the fight. Much better players. Hall of Fame players have had terrible shooting seasons.
Y'all even said, look. If you're going to say that, y'all even said Stephen Curry was locked up and was on a shooting slump. That may be one of the top elite ignorant things y'all done said too. That ranks there.
You talking about the time
ranks there.
with
Dellavedova locked him up. And he didn't shoot well. It wasn't because of that. But again,
he just missed.
Hey, we can't keep giving life to these unhydrated comments, though.
Quit being in the moment thinkers.
No, dudes ain't hydrated.
That be the thing. They in the moment thinkers, man. Quit thinking that way.
Yeah. How about we go a step further?
What?
Don't be lazy with your analysis because it's always deeper than what the eye perceives. You have to understand its details to this game of basketball. You asking a human being to guard 94 feet, no pun intended. Well, pun intended in this case.
Pun intended. Yeah.
And then after that, he has to guard Devin Booker and Chris Paul, 2 of the craftier ball handlers and offensive players in basketball, and then come down on the other end, start a set, and do that
and point.
And then you want him to then knock down open threes and go 10 for 10 and don't miss a shot. Well, no, it's not that you want him to go 10 for 10, just 6 for 10. Look.
No, I mean, they just play with the fatigue off on 2K. It makes sense. No,
that's all.
They probably do.
That's all. That's all.
All the way up.
That's all it is.
That would explain quite a bit.
Go ahead, Jay.
I'm saying that would explain quite a bit. Me personally, though, elite ignorance, that's like, that made my days right there.
Yeah, that is funny.
elite ignorance.
So we talk about, I think from a Bucks point of view, if I'm the Bucks tonight, we talk about, what do you do in game 3? If I'm the Bucks, we doing the same thing we did really in game 2. I'm gonna test your interior defense, and I'm gonna see if I can get into your bench quick.
Yeah.
If you're the Bucks, the whole thing's not in. I'm not taking the 3 the first 6 minutes. We going to this basket, and we're gonna see if I can get fouls on you. Yeah. And I want to see if you're gonna play Kaminsky early. I want to see. I want to see if I can get to your boy, as Germ calls him, Pride. I'm gonna see if I can get in there.
Hey, Ham, quick question. What did you say the key to March Madness, winning March Madness are? What are the 3 keys?
I play free throws. Late game situation was one of them. I think I had more than 3 though.
Well,
guard playing free throws.
Guard playing free throws is 1 and 2.
That's out front.
Isn't it ironic that this finals is probably going to come down to the same thing that it came down to in the NCAA?
True that, because Phoenix missed 3 in 2 games.
That's not being stated enough. The focus and the mental discipline that they have to be able to shoot 88% from the line in the whole playoffs.
You can't put it. You can't.
Right.
If you get behind, you can't stop the clock
Okay, stop the clock.
because they're gonna go to the line. To your point, MJ, they're gonna make two.
Deeper hole.
And they have two guys in Booker and Paul who just can manage the game out.
Right.
And you watch that, and I know MJ, you do this for living as far as training. If you watch that game, Suns take a 15-point lead. Bucks get it to 6. They just put the old dog in the high pick and roll. He come off, bucket. He come off, foul, and now a 6-point game is back to 11 within 3 minutes. They got two for our views from the 22 folks. They got two incredible game managers in Booker and Paul who can stop runs immediately.
And I'm gonna quote Earl Watson, Coach Earl Watson, when he said that you have two non-pattern players. The more non-pattern players that you have in the playoffs, the more likely you're probably going to win a championship. And it was funny that you sent me that video of how he trained Devin Booker, because that's how I used to train my kids back in 2013, 14. I had those exact same spots. And I was like, if you're not going to get to the basket, you're going to have to get to one of those spots. And the concept of it is you can't stop me from getting to all of these places. I'm going to be able to get to at least one, because you have to give up one in order to take away one. Right. And once you just get skilled enough and you get savvy enough to be able to be under control to the point where you can't get sped up, you have a handle to where you know it's not going to get taken from you, or you know how to hit contested shots. There's literally nothing you can do except for distract me from making the right decision. And then once I get to that point where I'm outside the matrix, then you can't even distract me. It's just a matter of I'm going to make or miss the shot.
Let me say this too as well. Let me slide this in there as well. This is the most interesting part of this. Did y'all notice where Mikal Bridges got about 12 of his points from in game 2?
Yeah, he cut to the basket.
Secondary cut.
Simple shit.
He's one of the best. He's already at a young age, like one of the best in the league at that.
And ironically, here's the thing too. I've watched him on secondary cuts, but I've also seen him with the oopsie daisy. Let me take 2 dribbles. Let me step in and let me knock down this little 15-footer. When you got a dude that's doing, yep, and he did that. He killed them in the paint or 15-foot area because he kept making that shot consistently. Well, every time they ran that play, foul.
He's making that shot, and then as we've talked about on the show, and MJ has talked about it, and we've all talked about it, they have trained people to give that shot up. Mm-hmm. And you have a Phoenix team that is more than willing to shoot the shot that you're giving them. So, Chris,
I seen Jay Crowder take a 2-pointer.
If you give it, they're taking shots in areas of the floor that you're giving up, which sounds simple, but
this is what happens when you train your team to be hoopers and not role players. Mm-hmm. It's a different mentality when you are a hooper. Hoopers read and react.
Yeah.
Role players play a role, meaning my job is to shoot this corner 3. If I do not have this corner 3, I am going to pass it until I get another opportunity to shoot the corner 3. You are no longer a factor if I could just take that away. If I take that away, the only thing you're going to do is pass it, maybe take a dribble, possibly fake me out like you're going to do something else, but you're not, and you're going to pass it. This is why playing a certain system and trying to bring in guys to just fill a role while you rely on your superstar to do everything else is a flawed system. It's flawed. Unless you have one of the best players to ever touch a basketball being that, you're not going to win.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Trav, let me get you back in. Go Trav Ham, get y'all two back in the mix. Mm-hmm. So what's a key you looking for tonight?
I'm glad you said that. I'm going
to set it up for Trav and then just kick it right over the Ham.
I think the adjustments have been made for Milwaukee. As far as defending the mid range, as far as running them out from the threes. The thing that I need to see Milwaukee do a better job is closing defensive possessions.
Mhm.
They've been getting killed on second chance opportunities. Soon as they miss, that ball either tapped out or Brook Lopez is looking at the ball and trying to reach for it instead of running and get it. I've seen a lot of the Milwaukee players do that. Run and get the ball. They have to close out possessions. Dude, I am tired of sitting up here seeing folks talking about where you need to put forwards at the point. I don't like Drew Holiday being at the one. The positions don't mean a thing if you can't close possessions.
Especially when you're the bigger
When
team.
you're the bigger team and you can't close possessions,
Yeah,
and you have a team as lethal as shooting as a Phoenix Suns, and you getting Chris Paul missing the mid range, you getting Devin Booker missing his shots, you
But it's
getting
Iowa
Cam
pass.
Bridges missing, but it's the second chance opportunities.
Iowa pass.
That's all it is.
Something you looking for game 3 on either side.
To piggyback off what Trav was saying of Milwaukee closing out the secondary possessions and whatnot, for Phoenix, pace and poise. Especially when you then got pretty much a little light in the ass in terms of your depth. Control. How much will these guards continue to control this pace and control the overall flow of this game, even if it's on the road? Chris and Devin good enough to do it on the road, of course. Will it have to be money? That's what's we gonna see from the pace. See, now that they going back up, now that they going on the road, now let's see how their defensive intensity turns up. That they're on the road now. They got that backdrop behind you. Now you got a bunch of other different beer drinking cats that you're dealing with in Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? As well. But like the meme said, you're looking for somebody famous. You ain't got a famous. You just got a Packers old lineman or something. You know, so it ain't nothing major in that regard. But you still on the road in the finals. At the end of all of that, that's where I'm really looking at with Chris, especially with Scott Foster being that other extra caveat, because Scott will tend to kind of just call something petty here and there, just to test Chris Pippen a little bit, see what he can get out of him, see if we can get him teed up, something like that. But that's where your poise comes in, and his poise is going to be reflective of everybody else's poise that's around him. So everybody just got to be cool, just go hoop.
Yes, exactly. So before we get out of here, because we got to get together and watch the game amongst ourselves here in about an hour and a half. You don't have to give me a prediction. I know y'all not big old game prediction. Who's going to win, who's going to lose. Give me a non-win or loss prediction. I'm going to start with you, John. A non-win or loss prediction for
the Phoenix role players will show up and they will have a good shooting night. They will knock down their open jumpers. They will continue to play basketball the way they have played basketball, because I don't believe Phoenix role players are role players. I believe they are hoopers, and I believe they have shown that throughout this season.
MJ, a non-win-loss prediction.
Hold on, I can't follow it up. I'm so proud right now. This sport. just let me have this moment for 1 second.
Go ahead, take your time.
Okay. I think I called it the Iowa pass. It probably went over y'all head, but I think what Trav would like for Milwaukee to do, they are not going to be able to do it for the reason and reason only. The ball is being moved so well to where Milwaukee is constantly on recovery defense, which means because they're on recovery defense, they are out of rebounding position. The worst part of this is even when they're not moving the ball well and the guards are penetrating and creating separation and shooting tough shots, what happens is the offense is a missed shot. It is called the Iowa pass. When you have a big man that is agile and versatile and can play above everybody, you can just throw it anywhere near the rim and it's going to be like a lob pass to him. And that's what they've been using DeAndre Ayton for. Kentucky's been doing this for quite some time because they're used to having rim running, bouncy bigs. but they had guards that usually couldn't make the right decision. So Coach Cal pretty much said, just get it somewhere near the rim. We'll figure the rest out later. And they usually end up being a tip dunk or a putback. Phoenix has this opportunity to do it. But the thing about it is they have skill guards who actually is looking to score. But if you happen to miss, a guy like Devin Booker and Chris Paul, if they miss, they're not going to miss long, especially not from a mid-range shot. It's going to hit off the front of the rim or it's going to bounce off the back of the iron, and it's going to be a nice soft rebound for DeAndre Ayton to tip it in, hence called the highway pass.
Trav, 9 win-loss prediction.
I think he had on this silver and black quite a few years, man. I think Forbes show up tonight. He's at home. Penthouse gonna do his thing. Porter's gonna show, but I think we see Forbes come to play tonight.
Yeah, you actually stole my prediction. You know, Coach, we always talk about role players playing better at home. This might be the night you get the crazy Bryn Forbes, Penthouse Pat, Bobby Portis, where they combine for like 50. Because it's home, comfortable, etc. So because of that, I'll actually make a win-loss prediction. Give me Milwaukee. I'll take Milwaukee. I'll take Milwaukee to get it back to 2-1. The more desperate team needs it. The role players play better at home. So give me Milwaukee. Give me Milwaukee, not necessarily comfortably, but I think they had a control of the game for most of it. Because if they don't win tonight, we ain't gonna have no more basketball after Wednesday. So for the culture, Milwaukee, you know.
Oh, let me get mine in too, Big Shot.
Go ahead.
Mine is easy though. I don't think I know that's gonna happen tonight. There's non-winning or winning. Mike Breen gonna say way off at least 3 times. He gonna give us at least 2 or 3 off.
And
in addition to the bang, of course.
And let's do some quick rapid fire before we get out of here. The fellas, we gonna reconvene in about an hour and a half. Ham, I hope you got your nap in because you rolling with it.
I'm off tomorrow, so I'm lunching.
Oh yeah, nap and you off tomorrow.
I'm on hill activity all evening.
Let's go, man. One day we gonna let y'all behind the scenes on DC. Not today. One day we'll let y'all behind the scenes.
No, we can't do it today. We can't get less in trouble.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, one day. So let's go rapid fire real quick, fellas, and then we gonna go. Choose 2 of these 3. Ready? No, one gotta go. We're gonna do some annoying start bench cut situation. We're gonna do something annoying. Mike Breen, Marv Albert, or Mike Tirico. Who gotta go? On your NBA call.
Oh, Marv, get your biting ass up out of here.
I'm going to Rico.
With the toupee, Marv, you gotta go now. You got a toupee, bite women.
Rico's out of here for MJ. Marv's out of here. Trav, who out of here?
I ain't too fun. I mean, Tirico, okay, but out of them 3, man, I can't deal with. Tirico gotta go, man.
Tirico gotta go. John,
I'm about to be honest with y'all. The only one that can stay is Mr. Bang himself. I mean, but pause. Wow. You know what? Hey, look, we get into pause culture. I forget. We got to make sure we said it. Listen, at the end of the day, man, Mike Breen is one of those guys that just calls games better than most other people. Kevin Harlan's a good guy as well. But I'm gonna be honest, Marv has been old and tired for the last 5 years for me.
True.
And Tirico, I just said 5 to be nice, Ham. But there's the thing. See, I be trying to be nice. Heel activity all the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Tirico, I don't like him when he calls football games. I don't like him calling games, period.
Because he's from Canada, huh?
He called football games?
Yeah. Mike Tirico used to do Monday night, and I didn't.
Monday night, right? That's
Yeah,
because
he
he's from
used to.
Canada, huh?
Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
He even does hockey.
All right, here, one more rapid
I ain't
fire.
mad at him though.
Team USA loses to Nigeria in the warm up. On a scale of 1 to, I'm gonna flip it differently. On a scale of 1 to 10, your level of care about Team USA basketball.
Ah,
Wow.
I give you mine 2.8.
One. It's a
Uh,
one. It's a one to me because I mean it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition game. Is there some things that need to be tightened up? Yes, but it's an exhibition. But living in the world today, everything is going to be escalated just because you have certain people on their team that people are going to go after. That's why
I
it
thought
got escalated.
Trav
so
was gonna go into Tupac, living in the world
yeah,
today.
Yeah. So
hey,
yeah.
this essential water got 9.5 pH in it. I could fill the rest up to 10 with the how much care I have about that shit.
It
Yeah,
don't
I
I
matter.
would
don't.
say,
I really
y'all,
don't.
y'all remember on Friday when Craig told Smokey that Debo had that Worm had smoked the dude for $50. Y'all remember Smokey's
I
response?
don't get
Yeah, there we go. I still might watch because I watch basketball. I mean, that's kind of
Right.
what we do. But
Yeah,
like
I'm
even going back though, yeah, like when they went to what was it in '04 in that first game with Carlos Arroyo flexed on him with the Puerto Rico, I was laughing at this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I care more about the Big Three and Summer League than I do about USA basketball.
and I
TBT,
care more about the draft. I've been mock draft crazy.
The TBT, the draft, free
Mm-hmm.
agency.
the Peace Jam.
I'm not
Yeah.
finna. I'm not finna
I'm
wait. I'm
trying
not
not to
finna.
choose heel activity right now, but I'm just gonna do it. I don't care.
You might as well. That made it Sunday night. That's what we do.
My give a F about the Olympics is at a negative 10. Why is it at so high? Or why is it so low in this particular case? Because in this particular situation, we are supposed to be flexing pride, quote unquote, for American basketball. We are already the pride of basketball here in America. So why are we flexing overseas trying to prove a point when everybody wants to come to our league? It doesn't make a difference in that particular regard. The second
Because
thing is it
Yeah.
does not matter. They don't even have the pandemic stuff together over there. So
Yeah.
we choosing to go over here to do all this extracurricular stuff and talk about we go play basketball. The team was just put together with people. It ain't put together for the people for the right cause. And this ain't a situation where you just put a whole bunch of people together. It just is what it is. Negative 10 for me. I'm a heel today and all day and every day. Stop going. Send the college players, the players who gonna probably want to go over there. Stop sending the NBA players. Who
I
cares?
agree. I am so for college kids going back, or if not college kids, 25 and under.
Mm-hmm.
Big shot. That's a show in itself right there. Because what you just
20,
said,
25 and under.
that right there is a good idea. But the college kids, I say send the college kids because that gives them an early audition if they don't go to the NBA.
Facts.
hey, I say send the ballers life kids.
Hey, send the and one mixtape tour people over there.
Send
They
those,
old now. They old.
send the young queen that won the spelling bee with the crossover.
You gotta
send
send
her.
hot sauce over there so he can hit him with that move.
Hey,
Hey,
send my girl the spelling bee champion. She
Yeah.
cold.
No.
Hey,
She put it up on the dime and everything. I seen her put it up on the dime after the full court cross, like Jay Key.
she
Like,
her game was
wow,
healthy.
pull up on a
Her game was
dime.
healthy.
I'm like, ooh.
Hey, the word of the day is dribble. DR.
She tough. She the MVP. Look.
Hey, send the Globetrotters, say category 5. It could be an NBA audition.
Ain't gonna be no fans over there. Whatever.
No,
So
I'm worried. Nah, I ain't gonna even put that in existence. Never mind. Keep moving. Carry on.
Nah, there are legitimate reasons why this should not be happening. Like at all. So, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So look, we about to get out of here because folks got to get their food heated up, get your dinner prepared. 94 Feet of Life is the Facebook group. Scene is the family. Run this back while you're waiting on pregame. Trav, Germ, Ham, MJ, Storms in the building. Shout out to the Dish for a great show previous. Keep looking out for them. Basketball for the people, by the people. We out of here. Enjoy your game 3.
Make your own damn list too.